Welcome to DIY Design by CCW, DIY design for the 21st century. My name is Candy and I'm the host of this channel. Now let's get into this video. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to DIY Design by CCW. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day, and as always, I thank you so much for tuning in. Well, today, guys, I have a couple of things for you. We're going to be doing, of course, a DIY. This is going to be another glam DIY with some items from Dollar Tree. We're going to use some Dollar Tree cylinders, and I'm going to show you what I come up with for it. But also, I wanted to share with you a little bit of a mini haul from BB Craft. Now, I want to let you know this video is sponsored by BB Craft. And if you're a creator and you're watching this and you would like to get some, have some glam supplies that you can use, or just any kind of supplies. If you're a creator, whether you do sewing or whether you do the kinds of DIYs that I do, you need to go and visit BB Craft. And they have a wonderful, wonderful program. It's an affiliate program for DIYers and for YouTubers, and you only need to have 100 subscribers in order to participate. So again, check out bbcraft.com. Now, my little mini haul is I have this fashion jewelry here. These are some gold brooches, rhinestone brooches, and I'm going to be using them in some upcoming DIYs. I've also got some of these. I'm going to be doing some mosaics soon, and I've got some mosaic mirror tiles. Now, again, I'm going to link all of this information down in my description box so that you can easily find these products if you want to order them for yourself. And also, if you want to sign up and become a BB Craft affiliate, you certainly can do that as well. I'm also going to be using this beautiful glam ribbon. Now, on BB Craft, this is a ribbon that they use. You can use it on fabric, etc. Of course, I'm going to be using it here in my DIY, but look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Also from BB Craft, I have some 3.5 millimeter closed chain wrap. I was using the 2 millimeter, but look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. Quality and just fantastic. Now, I'm also going to be using some non-BB Craft merchandise in this DIY. These items here I'm going to use in another project, and I'll be using these rhinestones that I've picked up from Joann Fabric. They're rectangle and they're flat back. They're just absolutely gorgeous. And of course, I've got my quick hole glue, and this is made by E6000. I've got a pair of scissors, and here on the side you'll see that I have some Q-tips, and they're soaking in water. And this is for cleanup. This is so that if I get any excess glue anywhere, I can clean it up, before it dries, so that my project, comes out nice. Now, off camera and before we started, what I did is cut out a few pieces so that we can make this DIY go a little bit faster. And we're going to take this cylinder, and the first thing I'm going to do is put some of the ribbon, and that's again the BB Craft bling ribbon, around the bottom. Now this ribbon does stretch a little bit, so we're going to stretch it until it fits. There it is. We want to stretch it too much because we don't want it to get loose. But this is beautiful. This material is absolutely beautiful to work with. So now I'm going to be applying some glue to our ribbon. Again, this is that quick hold E6000. You can certainly use hot glue if you like, but I will tell you that this material has a plastic backing, so you would really want to be careful with the hot glue. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is apply this around the bottom and line it up. Make sure that it fits snugly. And I already see a little excess glue that I'm going to clean up with my Q-tip. There we go. You take the wet side of the Q-tip to get to wipe the glue, and then you dry it with the dry side of the Q-tip. All right, so that's the first piece. Already pretty, right? I could stop right there, but you know I'm not. All right, guys, give this a couple seconds here to set. And while it's setting, I'm just going to turn the vase over and make sure it's all even. And now I'm going to be putting a piece around the top. So again, this was pre-cut. So I'll do the same thing. Let me make sure that it's stretched to fit first. This one's already stretched. And I will put my trusty glue here. Again, this ribbon has a beautiful clear kind of backing. If you sew, this would be beautiful for your fabric iron-ons. All right, we're just going to wrap it around. Make sure that it's straight. And then press it in. Hold it just a little bit until it starts to take hold. There we go. All right, guys. So the next part of this, we're going to be applying some Bling Wrap, or rather the closed chain rhinestone in the center of our vase. But first I'm going to let this ribbon sit for just a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll begin the second part, or the next part of the DIY. Okay, everyone, I am back, and we're going to go ahead and do the next part of the DIY. So my plan is to take this 3mm closed chain wrap and put a few rows in the center of my cylinder. So the first row is kind of the hardest because you just, getting it started, making sure that it's straight. So what I usually do is just put a little dab of glue and then place my wrap. And I let that sit, excuse me, I let that sit for a little bit so that it's, it adheres, and then I'll start rolling the cylinder to make sure that I have my wrap on straight. So we're going to turn it around this way. Again, you want to make sure that you keep the rhinestones facing up, and you keep the wrap straight. And then you gently place just your glue. Try not to put too much. That way you don't have as much cleanup. So we're going to keep it straight. The second and third rows, if you're doing this, are easier. And I know that some people just take and they just keep wrapping around and round and round. I like to do it in sections. It just works out a little better for me. But everybody has their own style. All right, so we're going to put a little more glue here. And remember, the glue dries clear, but you do want to try to keep it as neat as possible. Now we're just going to connect the two sides, and it looks like this piece is a little bit too long, but we'll see what I can do here to make it work anyway. Maybe better to be a little too long than too short. We'll see. All right, we're going to just put a thin little strip of glue. Okay, made it. Okay, well, let's sit it up so that we can see if it's straight. Now there's an area or two where there's no glue. I'm just going to add a little dab under that section so that it doesn't loosen up over time. There we go. All right, guys, so what we're going to do now is just let this set. Make sure that it's straight. Again, I'm eyeballing it because it's a lot easier to fix it now than once that glue adheres, or sets rather. And I think it looks pretty good. So we're going to let this sit for a little bit, and then we're going to add, I've cut 4 pieces, and we're going to add all of them here in the center. And then we'll begin the next phase of this DIY. So I shall return. All right, guys, I am back. I've let this glue set a little bit so that the chain doesn't move around. And now we're going to add a little bit more. So we're going to take do the same type of application, only it's a little bit easier now because we already have our chain in place. So again, you just add your glue. And then you start placing your chain. Again, you're just going to roll your vase around. And place the chain as you go. And put the glue, rather, under as you go. I'm not as worried about the glue this time being in a line because I am going to be adding a couple more pieces of a couple more rows. So we're just going to keep going until the 2 sides meet. And then we're going to add another row. So there we go. Push it into place. Now at this point I always sit it up so that I can see clearly where I am. And now we'll just continue to add. So same thing. Little glue. Okay, guys, I am back, and what I did off camera to kind of speed things up, just like I said I would, I added the second row of the bling wrap below the uh, closed chain wrap. Now I also added a row of the closed chain wrap below the ribbon, below the glam or bling ribbon. And I haven't glued it down yet, but I just fitted another row here, and we're going to glue that on. And then, so I'm going to turn this back on its side, and we're going to go around like that. And then we're going to add the final touch. Little too much glue there, but I think I'll be able to clean that up. Okay, so we're just going to go around. Again, try to keep your wrap as straight as possible. Yeah, I really see that I like this. You know what? I just love my glam. I love things that sparkle. Can't help it, just do. It's crazy though, you know, I love farmhouse too. How about that? How about I love all this glam, but I still love farmhouse decor? Maybe I'll do a farmhouse DIY here and there. Who knows? All right, so we've got that in place. Now I'm going to take my Q-tip, the wet side of the Q-tip, because I did get a little bit messy with the glue. And again, how you do that is you just work it around the edge. Then you come back with the dry side. And it works best when you do this while the glue is still wet, still setting up. Then come back with the dry side. Okay, that looks much better. Okay. Now I see a little area here. I may have waited too long to clean that up. Let me get another Q-tip and see. I didn't notice that until now, but let's see if this works. Not too bad. Now I'm just using plain water. Some people do this with alcohol. I would think that if the glue was completely set, then alcohol would be the best way to go. But if you catch it early enough, the wet, dry Q-tip process does work. There we go. All right, that looks much better. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Again, I think this is absolutely gorgeous. And if you wanted to, you can stop and do this, and you've got a beautiful piece. You don't need anything else. But of course, like I said, I'm always team too much, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And what I'm going to be adding is these beautiful rhinestones. And they're going to be something like so. Now, what I do to get this in the right place is I've got a piece of paper that I've cut. And what I know is I want the top of the rhinestone and the top of the piece of paper to line up. And then the piece of paper is also going to be the space, going to represent the space that I want between my stones. So that's how I know that that stone is in the right place. Now we'll put the glue on the back. Don't go too heavy on the glue when you do this, because if you do it when you press it down, it kind of slides out of there and it gets all over the place. So again, we're going to take our piece of paper, place our rhinestone, get it lined up with the paper. There it is. And that's how you know your rhinestone is in the right place, so that your pattern will be uniform. So we're going to do this going all the way around, and we'll probably put a row down there as well. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing. I think that's beautiful. Okay. And it didn't get too messy because I didn't overload the rhinestone with glue. So we're going to put our next rhinestone on. I may do some of these off camera, but I want to do enough so that you get it. So again, I'm taking the paper. Let me make sure I'm not blocking with my hand. Taking the paper, and again, I just cut that piece of paper basically to let me know to use it as a guide. Now, I know that if it's touching the bling wrap and the top of my rhinestone hits right there, I'll show you. Now I know my next rhinestone is going to go right here. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Make sure that it's touching the top of the paper. And now I know that my rhinestones are level. And sometimes you still have to straighten it out a little bit. Now this one was pretty neat. A little crooked there. This one was pretty neat going on, but this one I got a little bit of glue around the side. So again, I'm going to take my trusty wet Q-tip and just work around. Hit it with the wet side, then hit it with the dry side. And while I'm holding it, I'm sorry guys if my hand is in the way. While I'm holding my rhinestone in place. There you go. The glue's not quite set yet, so it's moving a little bit. Now, again, you can easily just do this with hot glue. These rhinestones will hold up a lot better with hot glue than this bling wrap would at the bottom. So if you wanted to do that, that's just fine. So let's clean up any extra glue. Once the rhinestone sets, you can also use the wet Q-tip to clean up any glue that may have stuck to the rhinestone itself. So that's our pattern. And that's how we make sure that our rhinestones are level. Now I'm going to go all the way around doing that same pattern. And then I probably will do the same thing down at the bottom. And then when I come back, you'll see what the piece looks like. I'll be back. Okay, guys, I am back, and here's what we have. So I did go completely around using that method that I showed you, um, using a piece of paper, which has gotten away from me now, but using a piece of paper that I cut, that I used as my guide to get the right spacing in between each of my little rhinestones, and also to make sure that they were not just spaced properly, but placed properly, you know, both horizontally and vertically. So this is how it came out. And as you can see, I just moved that one because it's not dry, it's drying. So what I want to do is let this dry completely, and then I'm going to determine if I'm going to mount this on a base, or if I'm going to leave it flat. And also, I pre-made one of these off screen, or off camera rather. I always say screen. I don't know why. Off camera. And so once I get this dry, um, you know, I'll let you see whether I'm going to mount it on a base. Then we'll go ahead and style it. Now, I also made a taller cylinder. So, but I wanted to make this one for you, obviously on camera, so that you can kind of see the process. And then, like I said, I'll come back, I'll let this dry, then I'm going to look at whether we're going to put a base on, and then we will do the final reveal with all of the cylinders, and we'll see how they look. All right, everybody, I will be back. All right, guys, here we go. I have finished 3 of the cylinders. Now, what I did is I have them mounted on bases. I know that when you know, before I got off camera, I said I was going to think about whether I wanted to put them on a base or not. Now, these are not permanently mounted on these bases. I decided, you know what, I may want to have them, sometimes I'm going to want them on risers, and sometimes I'm not. So this is what I did. I just basically put them on top of the risers, and I like the way they look, but there are going to be times when I won't do that. So again, guys, I hope that you like these. Please let me know. I hope you know, if you do, that it's something that you will try. Now, again, please make sure you go down and check all of the links in the description box. And remember that bbcraft.com did sponsor this video. Again, that wrap down at the bottom it's just absolutely beautiful. I'm going to link everything down there so that you can find it. It's like a ribbon with like a plastic backing, and it comes in a 2-foot roll. The rhinestone wrap is a 3.5 millimeter closed chain wrap that comes in I believe 10 yards, so quite a bit you get. And these rhinestones I purchased from Joann Fabric. You guys have seen me use this other bling wrap before. And that comes, you can get that from BB Craft. That particular wrap comes from Favormart. And I did show you a couple of other items that I'm going to be using in some upcoming videos at the beginning of the video. And I've got some beautiful gold brooches and some mosaic mirror tiles. So you're going to be seeing lots of new projects. So again, I thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you do, let me know. Like I always ask, if there's something you'd like to see me make, again, just let me know. And if I can, I certainly will try. Now, if you're not a member of the channel, I hope that you'll subscribe today. Make sure you tap the bell at least 2 times. That way you'll be notified every time I upload new content. And just like I say at the end of every video, I can't wait to see you, each and every one of you, in the next video. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. Now have a great night or a great day. Bye-bye.